I'm Dr. Francisco Solis, Interim President of San Antonio College.
Hi, I'm Anne Marie Kelly. I am a second-year student at San Antonio College Mortuary Science program, and today I will be talking with Dr. Solis.
Welcome to Students First. Good morning, Anne-Marie. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Good.
I'm good. Thank you. How are you doing?
Good. Anne-Marie, why don't you start by just telling us a little bit about yourself, your hometown, your high school?
Okay, I grew up in Slayton, Texas. It's a little town south of Lubbock. Very small. I went to the Slayton High School a couple years after I started public school, so it was pretty big for me.
As a high school student, you probably had many opportunities when you were deciding where you wanted to go to college. How did you select San Antonio College, Alamo colleges?
I didn't know I wanted to do this, but I wanted to be a medical examiner, and the reason for that was because at the time my favorite show was Criminal Minds, but I did not think that many years of school was for me, so I went to the next best option. I was like, okay, I think funeral directing, and I didn't know embalming was a thing at the time, but when I was doing my research, I was like, okay, I think I can do this. Initially, my mom did not take me to a college to tour. She took me to a morgue to tour the whole works of a mortuary, and I was very interested, and I knew that was something that I wanted to do. So SAC came up, and there's only a few schools in Texas that have the program, which I didn't realize, and I was very interested in being here.
Nationally, there are 58 programs throughout the United States to study mortuary science, right?
Yeah.
And I think there are 4 in the state of Texas. There are 2 college-based programs and then 2 private institutions, right? And you know, now that we've added the funeral home on our property here, it gives our students an opportunity to really to be under the direction of your faculty members while you're completing some of your student learning outcomes. But it also gives you the opportunity really to see you know, a true funeral home in operation here on campus.
So my name is Jennifer Floyd. I am the funeral director in charge of San Antonio College Mortuary. So this is a very huge deal. It's huge because the funeral directors and embalmers of my time didn't have this opportunity. We relied heavily on funeral homes in the community to give us our initial training. Having an on-campus funeral home at the college gives the students the unique opportunity to gather experience before they enter into the real world. Also a learning lab for them. So I tend to tell the students that when we're having arrangement conferences, mock arrangement conferences with myself, it's okay to make a mistake. But when you're out in front of a family, you don't get do-overs. You only get one time to make it or break it for that family. And so having the opportunity to come here and work with me, they get to learn how to make arrangements during mock arrangements, and then they get to sit in when I meet with families. So they get to watch me, shadow me, and then they get to talk to families eventually. Everything that I do is centered around our students. Everything that we do at San Antonio College, we do it with students first, and the mortuary is no different. Everything that I do here is to ensure that we produce and put out the best graduates, the well-trained, the most knowledgeable graduates in this program. So the advice that I would give any student is learn as much as you can from everybody that you encounter. No 2 people will do it the same. But for me, I have learned from every funeral director and every embalmer that I've ever encountered. And because of that, I think that has allowed me to hone in on skills that are far beyond what I learned in school, in the textbook. That has been key to my success.
The nice thing about the curriculum design too is that it's a stackable credential. So in your first year, you complete the funeral director portion, and you can exit with a certificate, and you can go start practicing, right? You can take the state board, pass, and then start your career. And it gives some of our students an opportunity to enter the workforce, earn a living, and come back and finish the embalming portion, which then makes you, in the state of Texas, a licensed funeral director and embalmer. What are some of the other courses you have in your first semester?
I really enjoyed taking I did enjoy taking the internship orientation. I love Miss Mena. She was the teacher for that. She helped organize where we were going and when we were going to those different funeral homes.
My name is Mary Mena. I am currently the interim chair for the Department of Allied Health, which includes medical assisting, dental assisting, mortuary science, and kinesiology. I also teach in the mortuary science program. Well, I met Annie Kelly in her first semester here in the program. I was teaching a class, it's an entry-level class, where students, even at an entry level, are rotated to different funeral homes. One thing that I remember about her, and I still admire about her, is that, I don't know, I just have a little warm spot, I guess, for students who are here away from home. In funeral service, you have to be a people person. I think she's very approachable. Her classmates see her as really approachable, someone they can come to and say, hey, when you did this rotation at this funeral home, how did it go for you? She can give that kind of advice to the underclassmen. I see that in the future, she is someone that I would want to service my family. And I always say that to our students. Would you trust that person with your loved one?
What have you found is your strength in why you complete an embalming?
Well, first, I am Catholic, so I do, although I don't pray out loud for the deceased people we have, I do pray in my own mind. We know that they have passed on and that their soul is no longer with us. At least I believe that. I think it's beautiful to be able to work with them and make them look a little more lively.
I remember after I used to embalm that I would always stay behind, even though I was already off, just to make sure that when the family arrived, that they were okay with the presentation. I think it's important. And I think in the end, then I left work knowing I had done the best that I could do, and that the family was pleased with my services, and that they were going to be able to then go through and continue their grieving process in a way that was appropriate for them, right? Yeah. So Anne Marie, as your time with San Antonio College starts to come to an end, have you started to think about what's next?
I have. Next semester, I'll be taking an internship class, which will allow me to go to a single funeral home. And I think with that, I'll be able to decide if I want to work there, which would be great. I think after I graduate, I know that I want to work in a funeral home. And of course, to get my license and really start somewhere. I know that it's what I want to do. It is my calling, so I know that I'm going to do it. I'm just looking forward to seeing what other people think about me, I think.
Well, two decisions you'll have to make, right? One is, will you go back home or will you stay?
Yes.
And then the second is, will you continue education? Right? The plan, your plan allows you really to transfer these 60 hours into a number of different topics as a baccalaureate degree. Have you thought about either of those?
I definitely know that I want to go to schooling. I think that I'd rather have my license and be a professional before I go back into school, so I'm not stressing between the weight of class and my job. I do know, and I've had people back home ask me if I want to go back. Although I love visiting and I love my family and I love the community, I don't think I want to go back because of the opportunities I have here. And I've really built an adult life here that my childhood hometown will not equate to. So
that's interesting because I've been associated with the program now for almost 25 years. And it's not uncommon for our students not to go back home. As the first program north, if you went from the Rio Grande border up, students come from the Valley, Corpus Christi area. They even come as far north down from Austin. and people really fall in love with San Antonio. And then
Yes, I definitely have.
for some families, there's more two career options if you want, and especially if they're married,
Right.
the career options are better here in San Antonio than
Yeah.
in other places.
I'm excited.
Good.